Hello people of YouTube, my name is JD Shadow. Let's talk a little bit about voices for a second. Let's talk a little bit about my own voice. Let's talk a little bit about what is in a voice and what should be in a voice when you're making a video or making an audio blog or whatever. So in case you have not heard within the past couple of years of me making videos and all of that, my voice is not the most masculine in the world. Of course, I am a male. You guys have known this by now. However, my voice is not the most perfect in the world. It is not something that is ideal, at least in my eyes, because I wish it was deeper. I wish it was something that you would associate with a male, or something you would associate with somebody who would actually be making videos for a living, or making videos as a hobby, or what have you. It's something I've had to deal with through most of my life. It's something that comes, I believe, because of speech problems I've had as a kid, and whether or not I control it or not is some things I probably can control, some other things I probably cannot control. It is just something I have to deal with. It's something that I have had to put up with, and for the most part, people do not give me grief for it. Sometimes people on the phone think I'm a female or what have you, and that's sort of upsetting, but I've gotten used to it. I really have, to some extent. But here's the thing about the internet. Anymore, you get these trolls, you get these people who decide they want to hit on the lowest hanging fruit there is in order to insult somebody because they don't like them, or because they just want to have a good day, or what have you. And to the most extent, it has to do, in my eyes, with the voice that I have. And you hear it now. Sometimes I could be a deep sounding person, or deeper than I might be on another video, but sometimes I'll end up being nostalgia critic type of squealing voice or whatever. And that is the lowest hanging fruit you could possibly have when you insult somebody for something they cannot control. And that brings me to some of the issues that some people have had lately when you go to criticize a video, but you really have no valid reason to criticize a video. You just don't like the person who is making the video, but you don't want to say, hey, I just don't like you, or I just want to make your life a living hell, or whatever. Now, let me first say that the person whose tweet I'm going to bring up is a tweet that happened a month or so ago, and it has since been deleted, but I want to touch upon some possible reasons why it's been deleted. But as you well know, I've been doing a playthrough of The Room the Game. It is available on newgrounds.com, and as you well know, I've been doing a video series on this. I played it all the way through. Now, I had tweeted out my videos to Jeff, Johnny Utah, to Tom Flip, and to Newgrounds, and to Tommy Wiseau. He has a Twitter account, apparently. And episode 1 did not have a reaction from them, but episode 2 kind of did. Let me read to you what Jeff, Johnny Utah, actually said in regards to episode 2. It says, quote, "The personality / voice you're doing is the most pandery shit you could ever do. It's shameful." Now, of course, I had responded with saying that, hey, that's the best Tommy Wiseau voice that I could do, because I was also supplying voice acting to all the characters as I heard them in the Room movie. And yes, I watched that thing all the way through. However, then came another tweet, and I do not have the tweet in front of me, but I'm going to paraphrase it, saying that, no, he meant your regular, normal speaking voice. It is so grating, and you should be ashamed of it, and it basically makes the video unwatchable. Now, I had retweeted both of these out because I wanted for people to see what I was getting. I wanted for people to see exactly what was going on. Now, Jeff, Johnny Utah, a day later decided to delete this tweet. On May the 22nd, he decided to delete it. However, the other guy did not decide to delete the tweet. I think it's still up there. Now, there's a couple of reasons why Johnny Utah could have possibly have deleted the tweet. He could have saw the error of the ways, saying, hey, we shouldn't be doing that. This is going to be a PR blunder, and plus, this is not something we should be criticizing anybody about, which is the right thing to do anyway, to not criticize somebody for something they might not be able to control, and delete the tweet. They could have also saw that I had retweeted that, and they were going to get shit for it, because obviously I have a good bit of friends, and they are willing to support and to defend me. And the people that follow me on Twitter are not exactly small names. They kind of know the way around being able to deal with people who do this kind of stuff. Now, I had debated and actually bringing this particular tweet up in of itself, but I want to touch a little bit upon now because I think it's getting to a point where I do want to address the sound of a person's voice, particularly my own. First of all, the tweet itself is kind of deplorable because it is from an actual video game developer. Now, you can say Newgrounds is not an actual video game website. Their games are not actual video games. They're not really hardcore video games. They're just web-based video games or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that this is a a person who is part of the foundation of an actual website that is well known. And for even one of them to even think about posting something to somebody who's actually trying to promote their game, such as I was trying to do with the room, like this, is very upsetting, and it is very counterproductive, because us YouTubers, us Let's Players, have a lot of power. More power than you might think. If something like this happens, we usually have the platform in order to address it and to say, hey, you know that developer of that game you might have liked? Well, here's how they think of you. This is how they think of their consumers. This is how they think of their customers. This is how they think of the people who are trying to get your game noticed, which they may not have another platform in order to get their game noticed. Now, of course, Northern Lion's done a playthrough of this, and a couple of other people have done a playthrough of the room, so quite frankly, they might not think they need my help. However, if they were to see that I would bring this up, this whole tweet up, then it would be disastrous for them. Now, I am bringing it up, but in another way, because I do commend this guy for deleting the tweet and deleting what could have been a PR blunder, but I want to bring up this tweet because I want to talk about the voice in of itself. When you go to watch a video, when you go to watch somebody play through a game or do an anime reaction or anything of the sort, the voice is only part of it, and the voice is only as good as the person who is giving you that particular news and how they convey their message. Now, I don't have the best voice in the world according to some people, or the deepest voice in the world according to some people. However, I do try to convey my message in the most concise and perhaps the best way possible without trying to offend too many people, but still being blunt and being outspoken. That is kind of hard to do. And plus, us video makers, we do a hell of a lot of work in trying to get these videos out there in order for people to view and to see. And for somebody to bash something about a particular YouTuber or a particular video maker that they cannot control, that just shows a lack of respect for the process in of itself, and for the person who is trying to convey a message to the public about what is going on in the video game world or any world in that sort, especially when you like doing what you do. And I've had a lot of fun doing these videos. I've had a ton of fun doing it. I had a lot of fun playing that game. I had a lot of fun playing the room. I have a lot of fun playing through that and giving you my reactions. And for somebody to go about doing this not only tells you about whether or not that person, that YouTuber, wants to continue on covering that game, but also tells you a lot about the character of the person who is posting that sort of tweet or that sort of comment or whatever. Now, the dislikes I have of some of my videos, is that the reason? Is that the reason why people don't like the videos? Is that because of the voice that they hear? Or like, oh, you got a chipmunk on acid voice, do not make any more videos because your voice is god-awful. Because if that's the case, then we are going about this all wrong. Everybody has a recognizable voice. My voice is my own. My voice is something that I own. And yes, I do live up to the voice because I believe that a voice is only part of the recognizability of that person who is saying that. I put out news that I think is going to be interesting for people in order to view. I put out anime reactions because I like doing that. And I think the voice is part of a character. I think the voice is part of the character of that person who's making the video. Total Biscuit's voice. You recognize that voice, but you don't go just for the voice. You go because he has good quality videos. He tells like it is. He knows what he's doing. He knows his way around the game. He knows his way around a lot of things. And that's just one example. What about Peachy? What about Omar? What about Amber or any of the other Sailor Moon Crystal reactions? Do you think that they would have the most perfect voice in the world? You know about their voice. You know about everything there is to know about them, but that's only one small part. Do you go there just for the voice? Or do you go there because you know that you're going to get a good quality video and they're going to tell you their honest opinion about whatever it is they're talking about? I do believe that a voice does matter to a point, but it should not be the end result of whether or not you watch a video or not, or whether or not you like a video or not. Trolls will be trolls. I understand that. Trolls are going to be there, and we cannot do a thing in order to completely stop those things from happening. Trolls are going to just be there, and you're going to have to deal with those types of things the best that you possibly can, and deal with it appropriate. And you know what? Even a deep voice is a voice that people might not like. They might like a more real voice. I cannot be somebody that I'm not. I cannot be a deep sounding man. I cannot be a high pitched man. No, I cannot be that. I can only be who I am. And if that is something that bothers people, then so be be it. But the fact of the matter is this, is that I am not that bothered by this person's tweet in of itself, in the fact that, oh, he insulted me, boo-hoo. The only reason why I bring this guy up is because he is a video game developer. He is the developer of a website that is well known, and he should not be doing this. Yes, it is a month late, and I apologize if I'm bringing up old wounds, if I'm pouring salt onto old wounds here. But the fact of the matter is that this should not be. My voice is my own, and I choose to use that voice in order to inform and to entertain people. That is my mission. That is my goal with these videos, is to not only entertain, but to also inform, to give my opinions on things in order to show what my reactions are to certain things. It's not just about the voice in of itself, it's how you use that voice. And if I choose to use my voice in order to troll people and to make other insults to people, then they have every right to criticize me for the sound of my voice. But I don't choose to use my voice for that. I instead choose to use my voice to entertain. I choose to use my voice in order to make people laugh, in order to inform people, and to tell people just what exactly is on my mind. And if that's how you use your voice, then who gives a shit about how you sound when you use that voice? No, I am not the most perfect person in the world. I do make some factual errors, and yes, I do try my best in order to correct them if I see that I have made them. That part remains true. We are only human. We do make mistakes and we do make errors, just like Jeff might have seen that he made an error in criticizing me for the sound of my voice, which you should never do, especially when you consider that the person who you're criticizing not only has the power, not only has the platform in order to call you out on it, but is somebody who is also trying to promote your game through free publicity and saying that people should play that game and directing people to that particular game in of itself. That will make somebody not want to promote your game any further, and for a while I did not want to promote that game any further. I did not want to put out any other episodes of the Room to Game because of this person's lack of respect. And no, that is not going to stop me. It's not going to bother me, and it's something that if you are just trolling and you are trying to say, oh, your voice is so painful, I can't hear it. You know what? 500 plus people are proving you wrong. I have 500 plus subscribers, so I must be doing something right. I must be doing something right with the sound of my voice, because I am trying to use my voice in the best way possible in order to entertain, to inform, and to make people's lives a little bit better by watching the videos that I produce. And if that's the way that people see me as somebody to inform the public in order to entertain people and to make people laugh, cry, or whatever, then my mission has been a tremendous success, regardless of what anybody might say differently. And if this guy, if Johnny Utah, if Jeff still thinks that my voice is quote-unquote shameful, then you know what? That kind of attitude is what's shameful. Not a sound of the voice, but an attitude of a video game developer that chooses to engage in that sort of trollish behavior. Because what if I was somebody with a bigger platform? What if I was Total Biscuit and he said that? They would get eaten alive. But I commend him for seeing the error of the ways, regardless of what the reason was. Hopefully he has learned his lesson, and that regardless of the sound of a person's voice, it is how they use it that matters, not necessarily how they sound. My name is JD Shadow, and that just happened.